Hi, this is Marcello Rossi, and I'm here at the Piano Place at 1307 East Maple Road here in Troy, Michigan. As you can see, that's their sign here in the front of the store. We're going to go inside and we're going to interview Grant, who is a salesman extraordinaire here at the store. So let's go inside. Grant,
Wait, hello, Marcello.
why don't you give us your full name and your position here at the store?
My name is Grant Wallach, and I'm the manager of the store as well as sales manager.
Excellent. And why don't you give us a tour of the store?
I'd be very happy to do.
Come on
Obviously,
down.
you're in my office right now. And
Yes.
it's not completed yet. I have things yet to put on the shelves that are just installed. So,
Yes, a very beautiful office, no question about it.
well, thank you.
Let's back up here so we can keep our 6 feet distance here.
Now we're entering into our main showroom here. And here we have mostly the pianos that we are representative of, the brands we carry, whether they're new or used. There's a few exceptions. We have some Steinways up there. But generally we have our Presinas and our Highlands. Those are our two major wonderful brands that are very close to equal to a lot of the German brands we carry, which of course are a lot more money. We have Petroff over there, we have Bechstein, and Blutner, and August Försters.
Wonderful. Yes. A very impressive storefront here.
This is an extension of that room, where again it's still brands that we represent, the Petroff and the Charles Walter, although these are pre-owned in here. But we also have Kleins that are from the Highland Company. Those are new.
That's great. That's great.
And this is what I call our Yamaha and Kwai room, because most of them are of those brands. And we have a stage there when we want to perform. We remove these pianos out, and we have chairs that we can put up. We have a lot of wonderful pre-owned, refurbished Yamahas and Kwais. They're like new. The biggest difference between the new models and these is just the price, because they've been completely redone outside, inside, to make them like new, and the prices, of course, are wonderful. And we offer a 10-year warranty with that.
And of course, I love this room because I get to teach in this room right
It has
now.
great acoustics, the high ceiling,
Wonderful.
good sound.
Absolutely. How about another room?
Well, going into here is our shop, where we do technical work
Mm-hmm.
and also have more pianos for sale. We have nowhere else to put them. So a lot of these are being prepared to be put into the other rooms. Because we have another Kawai that will go in the Kawai Yamaha room. This just came in, so we have to prep it. Our workshop with all the different machines. And then this one's being prepared to have a player system put into it by one of our technicians.
Why don't you explain to us what a player system is?
Well, it is a device, a kit that we insert into the piano with a great deal of work, but it then plays the piano by itself, and you can stream off of online, off your computer or your phone, whatever, and almost have unlimited music of all sorts, jazz, classical, you name it. And there's also a speaker that we install so that you get orchestral sounds as well as just the piano sounds. And vocal will come through it as well.
Wow. It's impressive.
And then we have more pianos for sale here. And right now we have a very good selection of wonderful looking black pianos at very, very reasonable prices. So will be negotiable. A lot of times we've had times where we didn't have any nice black shiny pianos at an affordable price. A lot of times when they're very low in price, they need a lot of work. People aren't aware that if you buy a used piano, even a free piano, it's not always a good deal when you find out to rebuild it or put it back to complete working order might be up to $30,000.
Wow.
Not to say they all need that, but even 10 would be too much. Uh, you should have it checked out before you would buy a piano from a private source. There's no guarantee. And if you find out too late, you'll have to throw the piano away and waste all your money.
Yeah, that would be like what we would consider a money pit.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Grant, for giving us such a great tour of the place.
Oh, you're welcome.
Can you tell us what is the hottest selling piano here at the store?
I would say the two biggest sellers would be the Highland and the Prasina because they're very, very high level pianos with wonderful components, often the same kind of hammers and strings and soundboards and materials that the Germans use from Europe, yet they're so affordable uh, just because they're assembled in Asia where the labor's lower, but they have a lot of highly skilled people from all over the world that are working in these factories. And those are probably the best deals because then you get a full warranty with it and a full life ahead of it. I would say that would be the top two.
So are those the biggest factors people should be aware of when buying a piano?
Well, I think whatever you buy, you should get the best that's possible after you look around and find somebody to help educate what is a good piano. There are two elements that you have to consider. One is the musical aspects, and some people are good at that, knowing what they want. If they play, if they don't play, that they're at the mercy of whoever's showing them or who's telling them what's good. But there's also the structural aspect. I like to teach people the components of the piano and show the difference between different brands. Some are very high level woods and some are not, and you can go on with every aspect of the piano. So you really should have both good quality musical attributes to the piano as well as it's well made so that you have security in knowing that it's going to last a longer time, have integrity of structure.
I wanted to ask, what is your favorite make and model in the store for you personally?
I'm very partial to the Petroff, but I love Försters too. It's really difficult. They have one of the biggest, richest basses of all pianos I've ever heard. So I would probably say those are the top two in the store.
Awesome. And for the value or the price, I mean, obviously you guys give great prices in the store. What do you think about value for price when it comes to making a sale in a
Well,
store?
that's very important, and it changes through the years. So 10 years ago, what I might have suggested as the best value would be different than today. I think value is when the price is a lot lower than the quality. And that happens when things are first introduced to the market, so they're under market value. And if you know what you're doing, that's a good time to buy. Of course, there's always a risk if you don't know what you're doing, and it's not going to be a good piano in the long run. But if A is twice as good as B and half as much money, that is value. But what happens 10 years later is A's price goes far up because it's now in the hands of big businesses that have higher promotional costs and higher overhead. And then you start paying just as much for the name as you do for the piano. And so the price is so far up. The problem is not everyone wants to spend that much, so that company will then make a secondary quality or a third quality or fourth, and you won't know the difference. They will just qualify you at the door of how much you want to spend, and then they'll show you the piano of that brand in your price range without realizing you're getting a much inferior product to what made it best known when it was the best deal.
Could you give us an example of that?
Yes, I had a student before I even had my first store, and this is a long time ago, probably in the 70s, bought a Yamaha C3 Grand. And believe it or not, we never heard of a Yamaha piano. We heard of the motorcycles, not the pianos. Now it's probably the other way around. Well, anyway, I remember the price that she paid for that piano, and it was beautifully glossy, black, and our pianos in America weren't looking so good at that point. Our woodworking was getting bad, and our action development was very poor. You couldn't play very well without us spending 40 hours of work on a brand new piano. For example, a Steinway. At least 40 hours of work was necessary to make that as good as they should be. And then in comes this Yamaha that plays beautifully well The tone might not all be there because the woods were not of highest level, but what a deal. She paid $2,050. Well, that same piano is now available with the same materials in it, not always the best, but very, very well engineered, and it lists for close to $59,000.
Wow.
Well, at that price, they're not going to tell you, those who carry that piano, that there are better choices for less money because they're going to capitalize on the name and try to get you to spend that much.
Right.
So things change like that.
That's great. Now, before you were talking to us about two hot selling pianos, and you were mentioning about the Persinas and the Hailuns. And I wanted to ask, is there any other special sales in particular the buyers are taking advantage of at the piano place?
Well, because we are awaiting 30 pianos from Hailuan, which are on the way, I don't know exactly when, but we're anticipating them, we need to make room. So right now we are having a wonderful sale. Prices have never been better on our Yamaha and Kwai inventory. We want to make physical room for them and also maybe generate a little income to pay for the pianos that are coming in. So both of those will be exciting things to buy.
Excellent. So, Grant, what else would you like to share with our audience?
Well, foremost, I would like to invite each and everyone into the store. I love talking about pianos. There's no necessary purchase involved. If you just want to come see and visit, I would appreciate that.
That'll be great. Thanks so much, Grant, for your time and sharing your immense knowledge about pianos with us. And I'm sure people would like to come on in and speak to you some more.
Well, you are most welcome. It's been my pleasure.
Thank you.